Hi there, it's Peter Chapman from SKUFood, and I'm just doing my work to get ready for this week's SKUFood Recipe for Success presented by FCC. And this week, we're going to focus on some really important numbers. And I told you I'd promised to make our sessions about the numbers fun and not just boring and everything. So what I was doing, I was just working through how I would explain to you about the difference between markup and margin. So markup is really when you take your cost of production, you multiply it by a certain percentage. So 1 point, let's say you want to mark something up 40%. So 1.4, and that equals your selling price. And when you do that, as long as that 40% that you are marking it up by covers all of your sales and marketing costs and overhead and all the other things that are not included in that cost of production and leaves you with some profit, then you have a good selling price. Now let's talk about gross margin. And the retailers use gross margin. That's really the calculation that they focus on because they're trying to manage their profit that they make based on the selling price. So the way they calculate gross margin is they take the retail minus their cost of goods and divide it by the retail. So if they have a product that they're selling for $4.99, they would subtract the cost of say $3.80 and divide by the retail. So that's how they would calculate gross margin. And sometimes people interchange these two terms, gross margin and markup, and you really can't do that. And if you do that, it might cost you a lot of money. So join us on our SKUFood Recipe for Success on this Wednesday, October 7th at 2 p.m. Atlantic, where we're going to talk about markup and margin, but we're also going to talk about more than just how to calculate it. We're going to talk about what it means. And you know what? If the first 50 people who log into our Recipe for Success, we will send you a SKUFood profit wheel. And this is a great tool that was developed to help suppliers in the industry. And it helps you calculate margin and markup. I'll show you how it works on Wednesday. But it also is a great tool because if you take it into a store and you see a product on the shelf retailing for a certain amount, and you know the category margin, you can do very quickly with your SKUFood profit wheel, calculate the cost of goods to the retailer. And that's a great thing to know if you're standing in the store and might want to just see what's going on in a category, perhaps with some other items, or maybe it's a category you want to get into. You can see what the cost of goods would be. So we're going to dive into all that on our Recipe for Success this week. We're going to talk about markup. We're going to talk about gross margin. And most importantly, be there to answer some questions for you as well. So I hope you have a great Thanksgiving week. It's a busy week at retail, and with volume being up since the whole pandemic started in March, I'm sure the stores will be even busier than normal. I know the stores are trying to figure out, how much inventory, what's the increase going to be and that kind of thing, which is always a challenge. So I hope you've done your homework on inventory for this week and you're able to respond to your customers if they do have some last minute needs. But most importantly, also take the time to enjoy Thanksgiving and take a step back and reflect on some of the challenges of 2020 and also some of the opportunities of 2020. So we really look forward to seeing you at our Recipe for Success on Wednesday, where we'll really take a deep dive on markup and gross margin. We look forward to seeing you then.